What's going on, guys? It's Modern, and today, instead of doing an episode of Road to the Top, I'm just going to be commentating over a couple of the top cut matches from the last Arizona PC. And funny enough, I actually made it to the finals, which is pretty cool. It means that I'm getting a lot closer to maxing out on CP for Premier Challenges, which is obviously very, very nice. I think I just have 3 more slots where I need first place finishes, and then obviously I can just work on regionals and nationals from there. I think I'm at like 135 CP right now, which isn't bad, but obviously after another mid-season showdown and once I get some of my CP from regionals, then obviously I'll be pretty close to my Worlds invite, which is really, really nice. And just stack that on top of nationals, obviously I'm going to be set. But yeah. Instead of doing Road to the Top, just because I've been having some internet issues, I am just going to be doing some commentating over the Premier Challenge matches. I think it's sort of useful knowing how people play at actual events, just compared to Battle Spot and Pokemon Showdown, where you really don't get to interact with the people that you're playing against. You don't really get to see the ways they react to certain plays, or maybe how they react under pressure, because sometimes you can use those to just help you judge if you're in a 50-50 situation, what do you go for, or maybe if you want to predict a read, you can sort of just tell that just by the way the person's acting, maybe. But yeah, anyways, I think it's really, really useful to go over what happens at actual events rather than just Battle Spot. So regardless, I think from now on, even if my internet does get better, I will still go over the finals of the Arizona Premier Challenges. And then we do actually have a mid-season showdown coming up. I think it's the 2nd of next month, as well as one that is later that month too. So we actually have 2 Premier Challenges in Arizona. Or sorry, 2 mid-season showdowns. So lots of CP up for grabs, and actually fairly easy CP, because I think we're only going to have like attendance of maybe 30 people. But yeah, let's get to this first match. Obviously, like I said, I am in the finals. For this, I'm actually playing against the player Bryan. You might know him from the very first set of videos I have for the new season, where I did actually play against him in Swiss, and then the finals of the very first Premier Challenge in the United States for the season. And we actually both had dual primals, which was really interesting. It's a very nerve-wracking match just because of the mirror matches, all the speed ties, and etc. For our teams for this match, if you want to go and see everything that we have on both sides, just go and look into the description. I'm not going to waste time going over those. I'll just talk about specific threats that I paid attention to in these matches, as well as just some of the things I was thinking about for leads, and maybe what I was going to bring. So straight off the bat, I know that Bryan's team is very, very susceptible to Groudon. The only real checks that it has are its Palkia and the Kyogre, and maybe if Thundurus has something like Hidden Power Water or Roleplay, which I actually suspected for this match, then obviously those could be really big answers. But luckily, this is best of 3, so I can play it a little bit more risky if I felt like it. So just straight away, I knew, first of all, I wanted some way to check the Mawile, as well as the Thundurus and Talonflame, so I just led Groudon, and then I figured that Yveltal would also help check Kyogre, just because I could go for Snarls. It drops a special attack of almost everything on the team, just because most of his team was special attackers. So I knew just that combination, I could easily switch out and Snarl if I really needed to. Straight away, though, he does lead Thundurus and the Talonflame against Yveltal and Groudon, so obviously I'm immediately put into a very, very great position. My Groudon does have Rock Slide on this version. I have gone through and changed a couple things as of recent, because I am sort of experimenting with the team still. But yeah, Rock Slide is a very, very great move here, and Snarl is really great just for punishing switches, so I just go for both of those moves. I know if he does switch out one of his 2 Pokemon, then obviously Rock Slide not going to do as much, or really not have as much of an effect on the field. But I know that if he does keep one of the Pokemon in, it's super effective damage. It'll do a lot. And then Snarl just covers any potential Kyogre switch in, so I was really, really prepared for him to switch in Kyogre right here. Now for this match, like I said, I did actually know that he had either one of Hidden Power Water or Roleplay on his Thundurus, so I was really, really scared of him maybe leading Kyogre, and then if he had it in the back, then he could very obviously have the Hidden Power Water. But just because I know my spread for my Groudon, I can actually take one hit of a Hidden Power Water from a Focus Sash Thundurus. Not too sure about Life Orb. I think it's a close roll, like maybe a 1 out of 3 to knock out, but I know for a fact I can survive a Focus Sash Thundurus 100%. And I was also thinking that maybe their Breloom could be Scarfed or something, just because they've used that in the past too. So they do switch in the Kyogre. It sort of gives me a heart attack because I was expecting the Hidden Power Water right here. But as you're going to see, he actually goes for Thunder Wave. So maybe he was predicting me to Protect right here, which was obviously a pretty nice prediction. Snarl going to come out right here, drop the special attack of both of his Pokemon, and then Rock Slide just going to finish up the knockout on this Thundurus, as well as damage the Kyogre a little bit, which is always really great, especially since a lot of Kyogre are running the Water Spout. Now, I know for this next turn, if he does switch in the Talonflame, Talonflame really doesn't do anything to either of my Pokemon. Even though the Kyogre does heavily threaten my Groudon, they really don't have anything for my Yveltal. So I figured Mawile would probably just come in at this point, but even though they do have me Thunder Waved, I can just sort of cycle out Groudon. It's pretty safe to switch in against a -1 Kyogre, and then if I do lose my Yveltal, I just get a free switch into Groudon again. Reset my weather, also threaten out the Mawile too, which is really, really good. So for this turn, I do just switch out Groudon, like I said, and instead of going for a Sucker Punch or something onto the Kyogre to chip damage it, I decided that it'd probably be a lot more useful to go and Snarl, because if they did happen to double into the Groudon slot predicting a switch, then Snarl would just further reduce the special attack of their Kyogre. Although in retrospect, I guess Sucker Punch probably would have been a better play, just because damage is a lot better than no damage. Scald comes out onto the Cresselia, revealing that they probably don't have Origin Pulse, or maybe they only have the Water Spout on their Kyogre too, so that's really, really good to know. And that actually pays off in the next match. You guys will see that tomorrow, actually. But yeah, I can just get a free switch into Groudon right here. Pretty much set up to win at this point. Just because I can set up the Trick Room and Gravity, if Kyogre wants to switch out and switch back in, I can just skill swap. I don't even need to risk that even. I could probably just go for Gravity just to ensure that I hit, and then I do actually have Mawile in the back, so I know that could also finish up the match. But he does end up switching out Kyogre. That's pretty much to be expected. Into the Talonflame, and Mawile actually stays in right here, but unfortunately, I missed the Precipice Blades. And this really, really sucks, because obviously, I'm going for Trick Room right here. Precipice Blades missing means that Mawile actually gets to benefit from my Trick Room too, so that means that they could potentially target down my Cresselia, and then maybe get a free knockout, which is obviously very, very bad. But luckily for me, they do actually protect right here, and then they do Brave Bird my Cresselia. And this is actually pretty interesting because my Cresselia survives at 4 HP. And I actually found out just by going and checking calcs after this match, a Life Orb Adamant Talonflame had a 1 in 16 chance to KO me from right there. Just sort of an interesting fact, but it was actually very, very heavily in my favor right there to be able to get this Gravity off. So maybe if I was Bryan, I probably would have just gone for the Iron Head or something into the Cresselia. But as you're going to see, I actually go for Rock Slide, predicting that play. So I don't know, maybe it would have just been better to Precipice Blades right here. Obviously, Mawile did protect, so it really doesn't make a difference. I just went for Rock Slide because I knew if they did actually double into Cresselia for whatever reason, and I can't get the Gravity off, then I can just guarantee the KO onto their Talonflame. And then maybe if they did KO my Cresselia, I had a free switch in anyways. So regardless, I'm in a really, really good position right here. And then obviously, Rock Slide's going to KO the Talonflame. That's a given. So now at this point, I know that the Kyogre, if it does have Origin Pulse, it can launch him off with 100% accuracy, but after a Precipice Blades, they should be able to go down to maybe to a Sucker Punch for my Mawile, which is obviously really, really big. But they actually go for the play of Iron Heading my Groudon just to ensure that if they can get a flinch or something, then they would be able to maybe win. Maybe if they just doubled into the Groudon, I think that might have been a better play. But obviously, skill swap right there, going to be able to reset the weather, and then this Kyogre pretty much can't win at this point, and he actually forfeits from here, I think. So yeah, obviously, really, really great matchup for my team. Bryan's team really did not have a way to check Yveltal outside of the Thundurus and Mawile, but like I said, my team does have the Trick Room mode, so obviously Thunder Wave slows my Pokemon down for Trick Room, and then their own Palkia setting up Trick Room sets it up for my Pokemon as well. So yeah, I mean, Yveltal, really, really good against everything, I guess everything but the Mawile on the team. Just because Snarl does so much chip damage, and it lowers special attack of his main attackers. So that's the main reason why I won that first match, just because I was able to get that early game Snarl off against the Kyogre. Cresselia was able to survive a lot of attacks, and obviously I was able to pick up the win. And that's going to be the end of the first match, guys. There is going to be a second one, so obviously you can sort of tell the outcome of that one by me saying that. But this is the finals of it, so it's not like I really care about that. But thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please go and hit the like button. And if you have not gone and hit subscribe or maybe checked out my social media, please go and do that. Helps you keep you guys up to date with when I post videos, as well as stream on Twitch. So that's always really nice. And like I said, as always, thanks for watching. And the record button's not working. Okay, there we go. And thanks for watching, guys.